It's so good to see you guys. Contestants, hello.
Hello.
I've missed you guys. And you all look très magnifique.
Thank you very much.
Hello. With that said, top 6, which is incredible. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
3 of you guys will be the winners of the next brand ambassador. All right, so how was your week? What was the concept? What did you do? Take us through it.
So this week we were tasked with a really special challenge. We needed to create a CSI video and also create an awareness event for Food Forward SA. And I think we also had an underlining challenge. To understand why organizations create CSI projects, why they support CSI projects, and also how this affects the communities. And that was the task for this week. Paul will take us through our PSA video.
The concept of the PSA video was to highlight as well as to educate the food, the good quality of food that lands in the landfills. This is food that do not meet industry standards, but human needs. With our concept video, we were given a handsome budget to host and audition people for our video, as well as
handsome budget.
You clearly have a lot more than we get in real life.
In the video, we'll see the good quality food, the couple that is enjoying the food, as well as the landfills that they're sitting in. Please play the video.
It's been such a long day, and I'm absolutely starving.
Well, babe, dig in. I made sure to order only the best meal for us.
You know, I've never been here before. Are you sure that this food is good?
Of course. The food here is nutritious and of good quality. You're gonna love it. Trust me.
You know what? I trust you. I trust you.
While you are spoiled for choice, over 14 million South Africans go hungry on a daily basis. Imagine an organization that connects a world of excess to a world of need. While 70% of food is wasted throughout the supply chain and ends up in landfills, Food Forward SA dedicates themselves to collect, recover, and redistribute quality edible surplus food to provide greater access for vulnerable groups across South Africa. Don't let your excess food land up here. Donate today. Be Food Forward.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah.
That was unexpected.
And imagine if you had an even more handsome budget. That would have been quite something over and above that.
And we had to improvise with the green screen as the landfills were not allowed to
Wow.
shoot on site.
That drove the message
Sure.
home hard, hey?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very
Wow.
clear,
Very clear.
shocking, moved us.
Yes.
That's
Creative as
probably one of the things I love the most about our job, is the ability to be able to come up with solutions for whatever the challenge is. And this is a very good example that reminds us that what we do is not just about cupcakes and balloons and fun, but it's actually could move people forward. So it's not just about selling burgers and pies, but it's also about creating thought-provoking conversations and getting people to think about their lives and their world.
And you know, companies today are all about purpose. And consumers are no fools. Consumers are attracted to brands that stand for something, brands with purpose. And too often, CSI projects are lost in the system because it's just a CSI project with pro bono. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is probably the most important work in this business. Because to create mental availability and physical availability in this space, in other words, awareness, mental availability, physical availability, the product itself, is very, very important. More so for an organization like that, where you create mental availability, awareness of something so fundamentally important, and then physical availability, access to the product that people throw away, that changes lives, that feeds people. I mean, how important is that? It cannot be taken for granted. And the quality of the work that is done for an organization in a charitable space needs to be as high the standard, that is, as any other paying client. Yes, Sylvester?
Absolutely. I would actually argue that it actually needs to work even harder.
I was going to say the same.
Because of, as you know, donor fatigue is real. So everywhere you turn around the corner, there is a need for a donation, for money, for food, for clothing, etc., etc. So when we're working on PSAs in particular, you have to work that much harder to convince people to give of their time and or their money. So it's tough, but even more important to be able to penetrate.
As well as CSI initiatives are very sensitive. Well, I know for myself, we always get approached, you know, as an ambassador to be a part of this and that. And for me, authenticity is key, but also just how it's executed. I mean, you see companies where you can see it was just an afterthought. Oh, and we need to give this money and give back to... And you can see it's all about branding and making themselves look good rather than something coming organically and them ensuring that this is what we stand for as a company and really we prioritize making sure we give back. So the tonality of such is imperative that it's executed right. Otherwise you can, you know, it's always like 90s with the kid. You know she doesn't care about this initiative. You know it's 11. Like, and she tweeted because they paid her, or it's good for her brand. You know, so it's important
it's
that you always
important
have
that is
that.
absolutely real. That's why I loved what you guys did yesterday. When we think about how do you land the message, but making sure that the message is also felt. And so being in the warehouse for me was actually quite powerful. You know, and then going into seeing the end result of, you know, the actual program. Just hit it home for me. So you didn't have to sell and oversell because I got to experience it and I got to feel it. You guys did a very good job there.
I must say, yesterday was very entertaining, but entertainment is not really what I was looking for. I was looking to see if you could actually communicate very simply a very complicated message about food wastage. And in your video, I see that you're trying to communicate that. So whose idea was the video? Because it's very important that whilst we understand now what the message is, just looking at the video, explain to us a little bit about the concept. Who came up with it? What are you trying to communicate with the little video that you made?
I came up with it, ma'am.
Okay, so talk to us about your concept and what you're trying to communicate.
Firstly, I had to think of the time constraints, as well as there's more that we could have done, but if we're to work with one location, how can we use it effectively? So to communicate the food that are at the landfills, to communicate, we have the narrator to accompany the film with stats, as well as what Food Forward does. So as you saw there with the opening scene where the couple are sitting down and the close-up on the food, is to show the good quality of food. The camera had meant to pan out slowly to get the feel of where they're sitting and that the food that they...
Sorry, Paul, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was really looking for what you were trying to communicate, not the technical aspects of what you were filming.
Yeah.
Because are you trying to tell South Africa that there's good food in a landfill? Or are you trying to communicate what Food Forward does?
I was communicating that myself, if I am seen as above, that the food at the landfills, I can definitely eat it myself. So I know it doesn't meet industry standards, but if I eat it, then it's human needs. It's what I need at the moment.
So are you saying that consumers can go to a landfill and get good food there?
No, definitely not.
And
even though
that's what I'm
the
trying
case.
to ascertain. What were you trying to communicate? Because that could get a little bit misconstrued in the video.
Cool.
That's why I'm asking again. What was the concept and what were you trying to communicate?
So I'd say a day-to-day person could basically get food from Food Forward that they get from the surplus from retailers. Be a normal meal, basically. That's
Why did I see this otherwise? Sorry to interject. I think, and I don't know if you're getting confused with your own concept. I saw it as rather all this food gets wasted.
Yes.
Let's not waste it.
Let's not waste it.
Yeah.
It's still good, you can
Do
eat
you get what I'm
it.
saying? And just the contrast of you know, we eating here at dinner, but this is what happens with all this food. And was that not the concept?
That
or-
simple as that. yeah.
Okay, you just elaborate. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I went all
I
together.
think the nerves,
You have the nerves as well.
Sorry,
Because
but
I'm
you-
overthinking it now.
I love the fact that you guys, particularly Portia and Paul, got out of your comfort zones with the acting. I see a lot of method acting there. Very good. Even the babe, yeah, Paul, we saw that. How was the process? Did you guys enjoy it? Take us through that.
I must say, it was a bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but I do think the actual thought behind the video made it very rewarding to be part of
directed
the
it?
process.
I was-
Quavo.
Yeah, by chance. I was just helping these two, you know, organize their lines, get into their roles. And then, yeah, I was told, yeah, you're going to direct it. So I just stepped into that seat.
Do you know what that's called? Teamwork. That's called working together even though it's out of your comfort zone. That's called stretching the budget and making it work for something as important as the project you were given. And I think what we need to remember about this competition is that it's about a lot more than just getting jobs for 3 people. It's about interacting with each other, learning to work with people from all walks of life, learning to get along with people, learning to lead, most importantly, learning to be led, and chipping in, doing stuff to have each other's backs, even when it's not your core skill. So directing, by chance, is actually playing your part in the team. Being willing to act when you're not an actress, or actor, it's playing your part. Nicely done.
Yeah.
So if I go back to the video again, there was a lot of work that needed to be done, obviously, to synthesize what the key message is, because as you can imagine, it's so easy to go quite broadly and you may even lose people because the message is so specific. But what I do appreciate, guys, is that, you know, when you're watching something and then all of a sudden you get this, wow, you know,
shock effect.
that shock effect. And I think some brands know how to do that really well. And you did it so well because
I got quite
you could not
Yeah,
miss
all
When
of
I
us.
saw that image, I was like,
you
wow.
could not miss it. So kudos, I think, to obviously the way that the message was crafted, but also when you knew exactly when to hit it, and you actually did. And we didn't watch this twice, we watched it once. And we absolutely understood what it was. And I was really, really impressed by that. Well done.
Messaging was great. Well done.
I most enjoyed yesterday because what I enjoyed about the way you did your little exercise was getting us involved. The engagement in a fun and an interactive way. I must say I enjoyed working smarter, so those of you who were in my team, kudos to you. Warehouse, and for shopping out of Sylvester's crate. And
Yes. And the fact that there was no winner, because we love winners.
That was a bit of a disappointment because I'm so highly
And there was a clear winner.
But we'll call it a lesson in work smart, not hard.
Yes.
In a fun way. So again, remembering that in everything you do, no matter how difficult the task, no matter how sensitive the topic, no matter how complicated the message, have fun.
And remember, we have been working hard in the last few weeks. You know, we tried to sell blenders. You know, remember we were selling sort of packages. We're in malls trying to get people to hear us. And this week, what I loved about what you guys did was you made people feel something strong and something potent, something positive. And I must say that when we look at the work that we do, making people feel something is obviously quite important. And I must say that it worked because there was a good vibe, right? There was a good vibe in the team, and that also translated beautifully.
Oh, yes, no drama for once. Actually.
I wouldn't say no drama, but I would say that this journey started with a whole lot of contestants with limited skills at different stages of knowledge in the business of marketing, communications, and branding. But here we are, where the team was able to use everything that was taught through masterclasses and through exercises that we needed to do in selling blenders and packages and all kinds of things, and use all of those little nuggets of information that you've learned, put it together to do something that was meaningful.
But genuinely, I'd just like to find out, was there any drama? Did you guys all get along?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
There you go. There was no drama this week.
Yeah.
I feel that we really worked well together.
Right? No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We communicated well, we worked well. And I think I would say one of the first times we truly respected and appreciated each of our skills that we brought to the table. And look at the result.
Right?
And that's definitely fundamental, because at some point, you know, a concept alone means nothing if we can't all execute it. And of course, you can't also execute a bad concept because there is no, you know, strong leadership in terms of that concept. I'm proud of you guys. I really am.
Thank you.
Even though there wasn't any infighting in the home that impacted the way the project was executed, we were still, as judges, adjudicating your efforts. And we do have comments regarding how, what, and when, and, you know, because this is still that job interview. And we're at the top 6, not at the top 3. Some of you won't be here going forward. And the most important thing to remember is that this was a journey. And there were learnings along the way. And those learnings are life skills that you will carry with you, irrespective of whether you make it down to the top 3 or not.
So there were a couple of things that I thought we could have done much better as we activated the campaign. So I know that Nandi had mentioned earlier on the leaflet that we did receive, you know, the printing on the leaflet, but then he also had a sticker that was hiding a hashtag that was probably incorrectly printed before that. A key thing around, particularly when we talk about CSI and purpose-driven work, is also the importance of ensuring that however way you treat any other brand or any other project, the CSI project gets even more focus, because you can't print that kind of a leaflet for a Capitec job, would you? But you kind of did it for the CSI project. So it felt a little bit that you were inconsistent in that. And as far as I'm concerned, you have to be consistent no matter what the brand or the product or the campaign is.
Absolutely. And who was responsible for the incorrect hashtag, by the way?
At first it was with the script. I know Portia said the hashtag was Zero Hunger. And I later worked on social media, and I'd missed the fact that it's actually Zero Hunger World. So it was brought to my attention the night before that it's actually Zero Hunger World. And I was trying to figure out a solution. I used the printer in the house rather, because all printers are closed and we had an early call time to not be able to print like a new program. So I used the printer in the house and cut up the new hashtag rather to have the right messaging, which did compromise the quality, but I really wanted to get the right messaging, like in total.
So the way you get the right messaging is to have done your homework properly before.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Then you wouldn't have had the wrong hashtag to start with. And then you wouldn't have had to, in the middle of the night, be stressing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And in a hashtag, which is so fundamental to a communication, should have been checked way up front.
Yes, ma'am.
And I must say, I don't think it's an issue that only lies with you. I think that there has to be, maybe my advice to you is a way of sign-off or approvals in the team.
Yeah.
So if maybe 2 people saw it, they could have picked it up. So you're not just the only one responsible for the hashtag, because you all get implicated if you have a wrong hashtag. So maybe figure out a way in the next couple of weeks of, do we have an approval process? And let's have the one last shot to look at everything so that we all can say it's good to go.
Yeah,
And to you, Clebo, this is not the first time that you get the hashtag wrong. So going forward, one would expect that would be the first thing you'd be checking right up
Yes, ma'am.
front.
Yes, ma'am.
I think with that, Sylvester, we did have an approval because I sent it to everyone and we went through it.
Okay.
Only later then I realized, actually, guys, it's zero hunger world. Yeah. But we kind of all responsible for it.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
all.
take responsibility
You know what I would
too.
have... and I love that. Sticking together. You know what I would have loved, and this is... It may sound frivolous, but you know how you had your drinks there for all the guests and your food? Did that come from the food inside the warehouse or not?
No.
See, I would have loved if you used that to really
Brilliant.
show your messaging.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, to
Brilliant.
drive home the message properly. Yes.
But anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.